Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to welcome you in with something really calming because this is the launch of Real Ass Affirmations Live. And I'm Chisa Pennix-Brown, and I am so excited to be bringing this to you this evening. If you'll notice, I'm not your typical person that's out here that's, doing yoga every day, eating super healthy, trying to just pretend about anything. I am a person who is about some real ass shit. And so therefore, the things that I love are beauty, I love confidence, I love making sure that women know their worth, I love making sure that we check ourselves because of the fact that oftentimes we will run amok and be led astray if we don't check ourselves. And so tonight is our introduction into Real Ass Affirmations, and I wanted to bring you in on a nice calm note because when I asked all of our followers, well, what was the favorite day that they wanted to do? This came out to be the day because you wanted to start your week a certain way. You wanted to be in the mood to have a magnanimous, magnificent, miraculous week. And so on Sundays now, what we're going to do is we're going to jump on in. Listen to this, hold up. And we're going to set the tone for you. Do you understand when I say set the tone? We're going to set the tone of intention for your week. And so some of the weeks I may just be on here by myself. Other of the weeks I will have marvelous guests like I'm going to have on today. And we're going to bring our guests on in about a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to jump on so that this way you will understand what Real Ass Affirmation is and where it started. So I think that anything great that we do is actually rooted in something from the past. There is something that led us to be great, and it's not always a good thing. So for me, what led me to start this podcast was the passing of my mom. When she passed, prior to that, I had my best friend pass. And it may seem like the worst thing in the world. And I know that a lot of good things do come from death when you look at it like that. And so I look at the fact that this podcast was born from that. This podcast was born from not having someone to talk to and wanting to say those things, but also wanting to have the confirmation that you knew you were doing some things in your life that were fucked up and you needed somebody to correct you. So when I came up with the concept of this, it was basically be your own life coach. Because what I realize oftentimes is that you may not be able to afford a life coach, or you may be looking for a life coach. But no matter what, you are the best person to tell yourself what you should do in your life. And I think that as coaches, we're here to lead you and guide you to a path that you kind of already intrinsically may know, but maybe you don't feel it yet. So that's what we're here to do, is to help you feel the shit that you need to feel to get to the place that you need to go. So today's guest is somebody that is a person that can definitely help you with that. And what we're going to do is these are not going to be long, drawn out podcast episodes. These will be short because the podcast is really short. So none of our podcast episodes exceed around 8 minutes and change. So we won't keep you here all night. I do have another show where we do that called Give It to the People, which is every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So if you want to join that and you want to get a longer format, feel free to join me over there at the Chisa Pennix-Brown page. But tonight, we are here at the Real Ass Affirmations page because guess what? It's some real shit going on in your life. So if you want to make a comment, feel free to make a comment. If you want to share it with somebody else so that this way they can get into this message and they can get these good vibrations that we're going to do. But I want to give you a homework assignment before we leave this evening so that this way you can set your week with full intention, okay? So right now, I'm going to get up and I'm going to bring on our guest, Jocelin, because she is a person that to me exudes energy, she exudes confidence, but she also has discernment to be able to kind of see where you need that extra help, that extra push, and that might be something that you need in your life. So let me get up real quick. Let's go ahead and bring her on to the screen. Uh-oh, hold up. It's saying she's unavailable to go live. Hold on. Not sure what's happening here. Let me see what's happening. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, Jocelyn, we should be able to bring you in shortly. So when you come on, you just jump on. But this show, it's also slightly different because one of the things that I really want to do is I want to bring on people that have listened to Real Last Affirmations. You know what I mean? People that have really said, okay, I listened to an episode and I have a favorite episode. People that have said, well, this touched me. I needed this. This resonated with me. And so even though, yeah, we can bring on some famous people and that kind of thing, I want you, the listener, to be able to come on. So let me tell you what you want to do. You can go to the link in the bio. And when you go to the link in the bio, then what you do is you put down that you want to be a guest. Submit your information. Let us know what your favorite affirmation is, your favorite podcast episode from Real Life Affirmations. And then what we do is we bring you on as a guest, okay? Because we want to know how this podcast has actually affected your life. So what I'd love for you to do right now, type into the comment and let me know what your favorite episode of Real Life Affirmations is thus far. Let me know what your favorite episode is thus far. And I think that for me, that's a wonderful thing because people always pick something that I wouldn't necessarily think is the thing. But what's wonderful about that is it lets you know that when you're doing things genuinely from your heart, from your spirit, it's just going to touch the right person. So things that people ask me about the podcast, they ask me, well, where do you get your topics from? And I tell them I pay attention to social media, but I also listen to people and I talk to a lot of people and see things that are going on in real life. And then I adapt that to something that I feel like is a message that's led for me to say to other people. People will also say, well, how many takes does it take you to do an episode? It takes me one take. Now, unless I really mess up in the beginning, which usually I don't, but unless I really mess up, one take. Because guess what? I feel like I was led to do something. So, I'm not trying to be like Jay-Z or anything, but I don't need to write down a speech to give you something that is clear from the heart. Because if you think about it, if you were talking to your friend, right? You wouldn't have a prepared speech for your friend. You would tell your friend what you know they need to hear at that exact time. You would tell your friend what was on your heart. Now, you will also maybe anticipate what you think a person is going to say and then try to go back and have your whatever you want to say to them already formulated and then go ahead and give it to them. But that's what I do. I want to do each one of these episodes like we're talking and we're friends. And if we're talking and we're friends, then why do I need a million takes in order to do that? Because I wouldn't need a whole bunch in order to do that, all right? I would just need to say, I'm listening to you, friend. I hear what you're saying, and then be able to give you some advice. Now, I'm going to throw in something just so that this way y'all will know. Now, we do have one person that said, I'm new, but so far, nouns and the power of them, listen, nouns is one of my favorite. I'm going to be honest with you. Nouns is one of my favorite because that's what I had to do. I had to stop being around certain people, places, and things in order to change into the person that I am now. And what I realized was it was other people's attitudes that were affecting how I would feel, and then I get to be a nasty person. Now, we can be nasty with the best of them if we need to, but that's not my normal aura. My normal aura is to just be nice and to be zen and tonic, honey, to be feng shui and all of them. So if you feel like you're crowded, you have to release some of that. And that's one of the most powerful things that I would say to me. Now, we had another person that said, hard to pick a favorite. I just appreciate your honest and genuine perspective. And yes, it does feel like a friend is talking straight to me. Listen, I'm telling you. So it's kind of like one of the things that I said I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be a storyteller. And I think in order to be a storyteller, you have to pay attention to everything, right? You have to pay attention to the plot. You have to direct people in some way, because if you're a good storyteller, you should be able to evoke emotion, right? And I don't storytell like everybody else. I just storytell from my perspective. And it can meander and wander in different directions, but it's always going to come back to a point that is there to impact you. And my experience with things helps me to be able to craft, I think, a really, hopefully you think it's great, like I think it's great, a really great podcast that's not like everybody else's. Now, one thing I can say, since I started doing it, one thing that we did was we did Real Ass Meditations, and it's just meditation music. It's 7 tracks. You guys can go to the link and you can buy it. But if you go there, you can buy the tracks that will help you keep yourself calm, that will help you focus, that will help you to get in a place that other people can't get to. So for me, what I look at is if I need to be in my own place and I need to be completely focused, music is the thing that really resonates with me. And that's one of the things where I found out, like, after their passing, you know, having a problem staying asleep, sometimes having a problem going to sleep because your mind is racing so much, was one of the things that I needed. So the meditation songs that are on Real Ass Meditations is something that I use on a constant basis to stop my mind from racing and to really narrow it into one direction. It's like the kind of thing that I can use to work all day, the kind of thing that I can use to come up with more meditations, more Real Ass affirmations for you guys. So to me, it's important for you to be well-rounded, right? Not to say that everybody has to do the same exact things, but I think that we all relate to sound and we relate to tone. So one of the things, I know we had a young lady who was really lovely, sent me a message, and she said she can hear like that high-pitched tone that's in some of the reels that we've been doing lately. And I said, you know, I'm going to reply because I forgot, I didn't even reply. But the thing about it is, a PSA is there to get your attention. If you are listening to some of the or Real Ass affirmations that I do when I do the videos, they may have that sound in the background because we relate to sound. And the whole thing is, it's there to get your attention. It's there to pull you in, because if you're not looking at it visually, it will pull you in where you can hear something, and it's meant to help you focus, right? So I think that, you know, we each have our own way of doing things, and we can all reach to a certain plateau where we feel like we actually need some help. So I hope that Real Ass Affirmation is that help that you need to be able to get you through the day, to be able to get you through the week, right? And so we want to just inspire, like that's the whole entire thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can check on our guest again. Hold on. And see, there we go. We should be letting her be able to come on into the room, because we're going to have a good time tonight with Miss Jocelin once she gets in here. So I'm trying to see, I mean, she may have had some difficulty a little bit, but we got her back in here.
Hey.
Hello. Hey, beautiful.
Hey, how are you?
I am wonderful. I'm out here just being colorful and throwing out, you know, a little Sunday dinner for the people.
Listen, I don't expect anything different from you. That's the thing. One of the things that I love the most about you from the first time I met you is the fact you're always colorful, you're always bright, you're always positive, you always enjoy what you're doing. And I think that's how I tagged on to you, right?
Yes, yes. And I just want to tell you, you know what? We attract the people that we are supposed to attract. And I think, you know, that's why I'm always telling people, like, whenever you go out, put your best face forward. You never know who you're going to see. You never know who's paying attention. And I mean, it's one of those things where people, and I'm going to say this because sometimes people tend to get intimidated, but the people that are meant to be in your life will be pulled in, right? And y'all will both be attracted to each other because it's nothing else that you can do but be attracted to the energy. And so there's not going to be an intimidation with the right people that are in your life. So I want you to tell them, what is it, you know, what is your favorite affirmation? Let's just start there.
Well, I love all of yours. I love all of yours, you know, but I love just about everything that you do, because everything that you do, not only do you do it because you love to do it, but you always do it in excellence, and you do it in such grand style. Like we were talking about the water, have some good water, not the kind that tastes like chalk.
You know, it's some water out there that's real terrible, right?
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
Nestle.
I have
What's that
never
old
laughed
Nestle
so
water?
hard. I
And
was
I
like,
don't like
she is just
Dasani
too much.
either. Listen, I may be blocking my blessings from a sponsor, but if your water tastes like that,
Yeah, I preferred Spring Valley years ago,
oh, okay.
but I don't know what happened to it because I haven't seen it in I don't know how long. But
Somebody might have bought it out. We never know
yeah,
what happens.
and then they took it and did something else to it, and now it's not even the same. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I have for myself, I say that I decree that I will have good success in every area of my life.
Okay, hold up. Let me get you out. She said, I decree. So that's a
That
decree right there. That I will have
good success in every area of my life.
in every area of my life.
Every
I
area of
decree
my life.
that I will have good
Good
success
success in
in
every area
every area of my
of my
life.
life.
So that's how we're going to set this week off, okay?
That's
You are
right.
giving us to set it off, right? Now, this is the thing. I don't know if people typically have a Sunday routine where they get ready for
Right.
the week. I do, because I feel like I'm one of those people that gets charged up by Monday. And
Right.
so us doing this on Sunday and getting an affirmation from everybody that comes on really, to me, does set an intention, right? And so if we declare a decree that we're going to have success, in our lives, in every area of our life, there may be something that is lacking now, but that doesn't mean that we can't make it up on the other end.
Right, because the Bible says that we shall have good success.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
how I got it, was I used scripture. And I
Come on.
decided that I will declare and decree that I will have good success in every area of my life. Too often we try to separate areas. We try to separate one area from another area. We want to be a person at work. We want to be a person at church. We want to be a person out with people. I don't have time for that. I'm going to be me everywhere.
There you
That's
go.
the one thing I can do good.
Yeah. No,
well.
I like that. I like that, because you know what? Some people are different people in those different areas. And, when they talk about code switching and having to do that, isn't that just too much? Like, what I found is there's always going to be somebody that's not going to like you. That's pretty much a guarantee. So at least if I give you me all the time, you can really make a decision. Is it me that you really don't like, or is there something about you that's causing you not like to like me and my energy? And let me tell you, so I get a message on LinkedIn the other day. I posted something about me speaking with a merchants association. And I told people if they're members, they can jump on, they can check it out. So I posted the picture, posted the link and everything. I get a message underneath that where a lady, I remember her, but she says, I met you 7 years ago, and I want to thank you for being who you said you were 7 years ago. What? I was just like, you know what? I don't know any other way to be but me, and so some people want to fake it. So what would you give people advice? Because I want you to tell people what you do really quickly. Tell them what you do, so that this way they understand why we're being able to be this candid and give this real ass advice.
Right. I have several things going on now. I'm a certified life coach, so I have a coaching and consulting business called the Connection Specialist, because I love connecting with people.
Yes.
And you say I know everybody. That's what everybody always says. But more importantly, I love collecting midlife women with themselves, because now their kids are gone. They realize they married to the man. They may not like him as much as they thought, because now the kids are not there. So we got to figure out what it was I did before that. So we're going to reconnect with who she is, so that she can move on and do greater things that she could do. Then I have, of course, the finisher's touch, which is when I do day of event coordination for live events, which I absolutely positively love to do, because I love telling people what to do.
That's a, you know what? First of all, that's a skill set, but it is something that I thoroughly enjoy also.
Yes.
And I think that people like us recognize that as nice as we are, we have to be a little bit more assertive when it comes to getting things done. And there are people that are really nice, and that's great, but that doesn't mean that it's effective when it comes time to day up. And so we are those types of people that are about that action, boss.
Yes.
Like, we need to tell you, this is what you need to do. Now, what's the difference with, because you said midlife women, and I know that a lot of the women that listen to us are midlife women. What do you see where there is a missing in action type piece where we can help them be successful in their life? What do you see?
Often they've lost themselves
Mm-hmm.
inside of family life. They become somebody's wife. They become
Mm-hmm.
somebody's mom,
Mm-hmm.
somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, but they're not sure who they are. Typically, if you ask a woman, who are you? They tell you all the stuff that they do. I'm a mother. I'm a nurse. I'm a chiropractor. I'm a doctor. No, who are you? At your core, who are you? Because at your core is where the great things can be cultivated. Because if you know who you are at your core, we know that two things about us, Chisa: we are going to be honest. We're going to be loyal until you give us a reason not to. That's right. We're going to stay focused on the task at hand, and we're not going to allow you to stop us for any reason when we know that we're going in the direction that we should be going in at the time. So those are just some characteristics and virtues that we all have inside, but a lot of times we forget about them because we're so busy serving other people. We're servants, and we're still servants, but we're servants that are clear on what our core values are. We're going to be encouragers. One of the things that you do just by doing what you do is you encourage other people to be themselves. Like the lady from 7 years ago, her meeting you, she never forgot that, because even then you were like you are now. You've always been vibrant. You've always been colorful. You've always been someone that a person could trust to tell you the truth about a thing. Now, you might not like it and it may not go down easy, but you tell people the truth in love because you want them to be the best that they can be, which is the most important part of all of that. I think we have spent too many years lying to ourselves and others.
I had to hit the bomb on that one. But you know what? So that right there, you really just hit everything that Real Ass Affirmations is about. We're not here to lie to ourselves about who we are. And we are here to be servants. But we have to realize that sometimes we need to serve ourselves. And so that's one of the reasons why I like to do things, and I like to talk about people letting go of certain things, because maybe the person that you were is not serving you now. And so when you think about servant leadership, usually we think about serving others, but we need to also serve ourselves. And we have all of those different areas and facets. But I think that going into this week and talking about success, what is the one area, and I want everybody to think about this. I told you I was going to give you a homework assignment. What is the one area where you feel like you're not serving yourself the way that you need to be served? And how can you make that a priority in your life for the week?
One of the things that I found originally about myself when I started on this self-discovery journey and learning more about me is that when you're I'm a nurse by trade, so that's a nurturer. That's somebody that takes care of people for a living.
Definitely.
So it rolls over into your personal life because you take care of people there too, because they call you and ask you for medical advice that you really don't want to give them. But anyway, that's a whole nother show for another day. But what I found is, as women, we have a tendency to put everybody else on the list except us. We don't even make the list, but we're taught this from small children and from history. Because historically, we took care of somebody else
all the time.
You know, historically, if we go back to slavery days, depending upon what your job was, you took care of the master's children. You fed the master. You fed the master's household. You made sure that everything in the big house went well, and everything. Then you had to worry about what was going on with your family. and then you had to get them straight. Then you had to take care of your husband, even
Mm-hmm.
then.
Mm-hmm.
So you possibly were at the bottom of the list, or not
If
on
you
the list at
made it.
all. Look,
If you
or
made
not
it.
on the list at all.
Yeah,
Now
because
what
you
I
were thinking about it.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
now the thing is, I put me at the top of the list, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, too many of us feel some kind of way if we put ourselves at the top of the list. No, ma'am. Because when you run out of gas, who's going to take care of all that other stuff?
When I'm telling you, okay, so listen, this is why I told you. These were going to be short, right? I told you you didn't need a whole lot of long talking in order to get your motivation for the week,
There you
in
go.
order to set your intention, in order to affirm the person that you want to be for this week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're telling you to put yourself at the top of the list, to find what's missing in order for you to gain clarity on who you want to be. And listen, if who you want to be this week is different from last week, then just work on who that's going to be for this week, each individual week. And this is why I'm going to throw this in here for anybody who's just jumping on and maybe you have not listened to Real Ass Affirmations. This is why I have to cuss sometimes, okay?
That's right. Oh, Lord.
I have to, because sometimes somebody out there, and I'm just going to say it like this, has bitch assness energy. We don't have time for bitch assness energy, okay? We are trying to have like the glow around us, like y'all remember Bruce Leroy, when you got that glow. You know, we want to have that aura around us. And you know what you had to do to get that aura? You had to focus. You had to practice your craft, okay? But you also had to believe in yourself in order to get that aura and to get that glow. So I want to say, I use the word bitch on a regular basis, and I don't use it necessarily in a derogatory term. I feel like we had to reclaim the word bitch. Bitch, get your shit together. And that's why I talk to myself like that. Okay? And that's why I talk to you ladies out there like that as well, because it's something in that word that just is like, it grabs your attention, and then you like, oh, she's talking about me. And she is you. You talking about you. Get your shit together. So that's what we want you to do this week, okay? Talk to yourself, affirm yourself, put yourself in first place. So what do you want to leave the people with today, Jocelin?
That you matter.
Mm-hmm.
You are important. And there's nothing wrong with making yourself first. Make yourself first. And it's not just about going to the spa. It's not just about getting your nails done. It's about cultivating a culture in your mind that I deserve to be first.
Oh,
because if you run out of gas, what the rest of the people gonna do? Nothing. Put yourself first.
Nothing.
Put yourself first.
Listen, you just set it up. So I'm gonna tell y'all two things. One, listen to Real Ass Affirmations tomorrow morning. You know it drops at 6 a.m. on Monday mornings. And tomorrow's episode is going to set it off and goes with what we're talking about here as far as putting yourself first. So after you listen to tomorrow's episode, come on back, okay? Because it definitely resonates with what we're talking about, okay? In addition to that, for anybody, because I know we always drop a little something, people were asking about some apparel. So what we've done is we do have some apparel. You can go into the link into the bio and you can get some of our favorite sayings. One is get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, okay? But it's an acronym, so you will have that. You can go ahead and you can get that. And then we have another one, which is my mantra for the year, why the fuck not, okay? And that's also an acronym. Now, there's some other things in there that we'll be discussing over the next couple of weeks as we get through to the end of the year. But I just want to tell you, Jocelyn, have made this inaugural launch of Real Ass Affirmations Live. You have made it amazing, okay? Because I knew, you never know what a person's going to say, but you know that when you have people that you can feel that energy, they're going to say something amazing. So I am excited for this, and I'm really happy that you can help set it off this evening. So anybody, if you're going to You are so welcome. Anybody, if you're going to watch on the replay, share it into your Insta stories, tag a friend, okay, so that more people can see it. And if you want to check out Jocelyn, go to her page at The Finisher's Touch. And I'm going to go ahead and put her information down into the bottom. So anybody that feels like they need coaching, then I will need you to go ahead and you'll get that. So I'm going to go ahead and put out some of her coaching information throughout the course of this week, because you may need a coach. And if you love her like I love her, and you felt what she said, okay, and you're a midlife woman that's going through that and you need that help, you need to connect with her. Because, I mean,
yes. Go to at Jocelin T. McElderry on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's where my connection specialist information is located. I have a link tree. I have a free ebook in my link tree talking about how connections matter.
All right. Yes. So did you see all of the presents y'all just got from this few little minutes and taking your time out to listen? So we hope that your week is set with intention. Now, Jocelyn, if I can get you to just jump off really quickly. I mean, just as far as the viewing part. And I appreciate you so much. And I'm just going to end this for everybody. Okay.
All right.
So listen, everybody, I want you to go into this week with all of the energy and purpose that we mean for you to have, to be able to give to somebody else. Put yourself first, like Jocelyn said, and let yourself know that it's okay to put yourself first. And I don't know if that means that you have a specific schedule that you go through this week, if that means that you take out 15 minutes of time just to meditate, if that means you go ahead and get our Real Ass Meditations and you start a routine. Whatever it is that you need to do to take this week to put yourself first, you will start to realize when you prioritize your own needs that everything starts to fall into place. Because all of those people that call you with the last minuteness, all of those people that want something from you all the time, and even your kids, if anybody has kids and they're out of school, they would not be at home typically, okay? So just because they're home now doesn't mean that you have to just stop everything, okay? You need to make sure that there is some way that you have yourself as a priority this week and that you will cultivate success in every area of your life, like Jocelyn said. So make sure that you always come on out, listen to what we have to say over here at Real Ass Affirmations. And I'm going to lead us out with a small breathing exercise. So what I'd love for you to do is we're going to breathe in and we're going to hold it for 3 seconds. And then we're going to breathe out. Okay, and we're going to say our affirmation. And our affirmation is, I will cultivate success in my life. So 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Breathe out. I will cultivate success in my life. Breathe in. Breathe out. I will cultivate success in my life. Breathe in. Breathe out. I will cultivate success in my life. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this evening. And at the end of all of the things that I do, my webinars, my classes, my live streams, I love to tell people, make sure that you always show up and show out, and that you always give it to the people. And that's on Real Ass Affirmations.